Welcome to my espadrille tutorial. The next shots you'll see are of fabric that I used actually for the shoes I made right at the end of the tutorial. So you'll see I use lots of different types of materials, and these are the first pair that I made with my little trim at the front. That trim actually is a shoelace, and I've used contrasting fabric for the lining and tried to be as neat as I could with my blanket stitch. I also spent some time looking at existing shoes that I had that were a little bit like espadrilles, just to get a little bit of inspiration. You'll see those inspirations from these shoes at the very end of my video. And this is the pack that you'll get. And these are the materials that I used to actually make the espadrilles that are on my video.
So when you open up your box, you'll find that you have your instructions inside. It's on one sheet of paper, and basically that is your pattern. So there aren't that many instructions here, it's just telling you what the pieces are. So what I've done is I've highlighted the instructions in English, and also if you look at the bottom down here, it gives you a link to actual picture instructions that are on the web that you can print out yourself, which is what I've used to make my espadrilles. So the first thing to do is to choose your size. So I'm making a size 38, size 5, and what I'm going to do is put a piece of paper on here and trace around the shape. And it also tells me here that I need to add on a little bit of seam allowance here. So I'm going to add on about 5mm seam allowance around the shape. So here I have some that I've cut out earlier. So I'm going to place those on my fabric. I'm going to cut 2 of each set. So I've got one for left foot, one for right foot, and I'm going to cut both the top and the bottom lining fabric at the same time. So here are my first 2 pieces. I'm going to put the right size together and stitch around, leaving one side open so I can turn it the right way around and then hand stitch that little bit there, which I'll show you in a minute, and that's the heel. So I'm going to pin them together and then sew them up. And this is the heel piece, and what I'll do now is I'll turn it the right way round, like so. And I've got a really good tool helping me to do that in my bag of goodies somewhere. Made by PRYM, so it really helps you get into the corners of your piece. So I'll use that to press the right side out. And I'm going to do the same thing. I have turned my pieces the right way round, and I've sewn up my little hole that I pulled it through. So I've actually top stitched the hole shut on the toe piece and on the heel piece. So I'm going to show you the next stage is to pin your pieces to your sole. So here's one I've done earlier. You're literally pressing the edge of your fabric down into the sole of the espadrille. So you start with the heel first. I'm going to find the centre of my heel and mark it with a pin, and then find the centre of the espadrille and place it just there. So I know that when I start pinning the heel, it's going to be even all the way around. So you pin it all the way around your espadrille. So once you've pinned the heel onto your espadrille sole, we're going to do a blanket stitch to attach the heel onto the sole. So what I've done, I've started with my knot on the inside of the heel here, and I've pulled it through the sole. So what I'm using here to sew on my fabric is some PRYM espadrille yarn. You can actually you can use this, or you can actually use embroidery thread too. You're going to need a needle with a big eye as well, and it's a bit tough on the fingers, so if you wanted to, you could actually press holes into your fabric so that when you pull the needle through, it's a lot easier and less hard on your fingers. So here I've stitched the outside of my sole with my blanket stitch, all the way around the toe and all the way around the heel. The next thing to do is to try on your espadrille and pin the sides together once you've pinned it, I'm going to hand stitch along this edge here and this edge. So here we have the finished espadrille. I've hand stitched the sides here, making sure that the stitching is quite robust, because there's going to be a lot of stretch on that seam there. And you can decorate your espadrille however you like. So I've got a couple here to show you.
So here you're going to see some of the espadrilles I made using those materials you saw at the beginning of the video, taking inspiration from the padded fabric, the yellow shoe, using quilting fabric here for the toe, and also using a lace as ankle tie. And then here I've got the turquoise pear. I've actually made like a ring bind hole so that you can thread through some ribbon to tie around the ankle too. So you can be quite inventive with your espadrilles. So have fun, use as much trim as you like, and be imaginative.